Hello and welcome to Crypto TV. This is Manoj Dhara. While 2020 will be remembered as a time of COVID-induced economic pain, it was also a year when people started thinking much more creatively about the marriage between technology and the economic value. The emergence of the vast markets for non-fungible tokens, that is NFTs, unique-based blockchain digital assets, is a transformative move for how we understand the digital transactions and store of value. In order to understand NFTs in detail, we have a very robust panel for you. So let me introduce to the guests. So first guest for today's panel is a person who doesn't need any introduction. Our first guest for today is someone who leads the blockchain practice for Asia Pacific region for the BSE listed cloud specialty companies SecureK Cloud Technology Limited. He is alumni of India's Premium Education Institute, IIT Madras and IIM Bangalore with over 30 years of industry experience. He is Mr. Srinivasan Mahankali. Sir, welcome to the show and welcome to Crypto TV. Second guest on the list is an alumni of MIT Solon's Partnership Program Asia School of Business. He is an experienced technology strategy professional with 14 years of expertise across US and APAC regions. Currently, he is a partner as Master Mentor Advisor, a premium blockchain consulting firm in India focusing on the enterprise blockchain. Let me introduce you to Varun Singhi. Varun, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you.
Third guest is Mr. Samrat Kishore. Samrat is a technology strategy consultant turned entrepreneur and investor. He carries rich consulting experience from having worked with KPMG, Deloitte, and Accenture Strategy in the past and serving clients in over 20 countries. Samrat, welcome to Crypto TV.
Hi Manoj, thank you so much for having me.
And our fourth guest is Prasanna Lohar, Chief Innovation Officer at DCB Bank and founder of Indian Blockchain Forum. Sir, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Manoj. Always pleasure to be here at Crypto TV. Welcome you all. All of our friends are here. So let's see how we can really keep it.
Sure. So let's get started. So today's discussion is about NFTs, that is non-fungible tokens. We'll begin with Srini sir. What is NFT and non-fungible tokens according to you, if you can just begin with?
Yeah, thank you. I think you already said, I think in a few words, what is NFT. So NFT is, unique piece of digital asset that is stored on blockchain, and a blockchain-based system. And it could be, there are different types of NFTs called, there are different types of tokens actually. I mean, I would say NFT is one type of a token. We have fungible tokens, we have semi-fungible tokens, we have non-fungible tokens. Non-fungible tokens are something which are very unique and which cannot be traded one against other unless they are denominated by another median value unit. They're having different properties which differentiate them in terms of their uniqueness, this rarity, their ability, and they're also owned by somebody, whoever has created it or whoever has bought it. So that way I would say, that's what would define NFT. Parameters that define NFT, which are captured in the metadata. I think we can discuss all these things as we go along.
So my question is to Varun. What's your opening remarks on non-fungible token?
Well, I think, as Srini sir rightly mentioned, they have just got traction. If you look at last 2020 until now, you can see an astronomical growth in NFT space itself, right? And while NFT started in 2017, we see traction of lately. I think because people started realizing the value of it, right? Predominantly, NFTs right now are only in digital market and, music, artwork. But I think the real value will come when you see the enterprise usage of NFTs, right? Because we have been talking for past few years about creating NFTs. I think the real value will start when we start using NFTs in varieties of use cases, right? So that will set the tone. And that's the future I look at, how an NFTs, combined with DeFi and other, protocols we have. Because NFTs in isolation, as Srini sir mentioned, is just a digital unique asset which gives you provenance on blockchain, right? It's a piece of code which gives you unique ownership. But with that thing, if you look at, the potential is limitless, right? So that sets the tone for this conversation today.
Samrat, what's your opening remark on this?
Sure, Manoj. So I think the other panelists have covered it really well, but I would want to just add to that yes, I think it is its real value is derived out of the economic innovation which comes along with the code. So I think the real wrapper around why it became so valuable all of a sudden is the interest it has garnered in the past 1.5 years from celebrities as well as average people like us alike. Although we didn't know that the technology existed, there were limited use cases of such technology in the past. But now with this new race of owning something on the internet in the digital world, that has led to a never-ending economic value and demand in the NFTs. So yeah, I'm really bullish on this space, and I look forward and I congratulate to all of you, for being participants in the economy.
Thank you so much, Samrat. And what's your take on this, Prasanna? NFTs, that's, everyone is talking about it. That's a thing of 2021. What's your first take on it?
I think NFT is a start of something big, right? In a simple terms, non-fungible tokens, what we call it as, right? The way we have seen the lot of transformation that happened in the overall last 100+ years. We typically call it as an industry revolutions, right? Part of industry revolution 4.0, wherein we have seen a lot of adoption of many more business model operation on internet. So internet is something like which is everywhere, right? So on top of internet, there are various use cases. And when you talk about blockchain, NFT comes and it gives a kind of a comfort or kind of a next level of adoption where your digital assets can be really tokenized, can be traded out there. So it's a start of something big new. So which is a non-tradable asset. So we'll discuss a lot around.
Sure, that is the start for something new. My next question is to Srini sir. The best economic innovation of 2020, according to you, is NFT. And is there a utility value, meaning the value in real world to NFTs? How will the segment evolve going forward? Over to you, Srini sir.
Yeah, so I think NFT is not really the economic, greatest innovation of 20. NFTs have been there for almost 4 years now. We all know about CryptoKitties. The first thing we learned in the blockchain was CryptoKitties and ERC-721 token on Ethereum, which represented unique character, right? Which was minted on the blockchain and then traded and caused a crash of the Ethereum network, etc., because of the large demand that went around with it and the craze that happened. And later on, now we have the phenomena has grown so much because of the number of facilitating factors.
Sure.
Like number of protocols that have come up. For example, it is Ethereum, then you have Wax, then you have Flow, then you have Tezos, when you have Binance Smart Chain. All these people are offering, much easier and faster way of, developing, minting NFTs and owning digital assets. And then now Polkadot is offering, interoperability, speed of execution. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry can simply, with just by scanning a QR code, can own an, NFT through this engine framework. So that way, it has now become, people have started understanding and started using it more. And then you have people like, great guys like Amitabh Bachchan, who have started, talking about NFT.
Fantastic.
If Amitabh Bachchan talks about it, it goes to the entire world and can corner.
And he's spoken and definitely has minted money as well.
Using it in many more ways. Yeah, so people started using it in many more ways. So that is how it is becoming more and more popular. So the innovation is coming in the way it is being used, how it is being used, and how it is being valued, and how it is being marketed, and and that way I would say. Yeah.
So over to Varun, the best economic innovation of 2021 according to you.
So again, NFTs as such, I think they were already existing,
Right.
I would say that, the economic value generated by it, I think that's the game changer, right? As Srini sir mentioned rightly, and even Samrat, I think, touched upon it, that, how do you wrap it around with, utility providing benefits, right? So if you look at it, NFT today, it's getting traction because I think if I look at it in a way, the ecosystem is developing, right? The ecosystem, because NFT in isolation might not do the trick, right? Because you need a supporting ecosystem. And today, if you look at it, Ethereum is taking the major, chunk of NFT related stuff happening.
Without any doubt.
They have a lot of mature protocols, but I see a lot of infrastructure tooling and protocols coming up, which are actually now trying to establish themselves in NFT space. So as I said, once we see a maturity in all these protocols coming in, you will see a lot of enterprise NFT use cases coming in, and I think that will actually address some of the real pressing problems
Sure.
we have in today's world, right? So that's my take on it, right? So once we see the maturity coming in, and we try to address the real problems we have in today's world.
So that's a word which is coming from Varun Singhi. Samrat, what's your take on that? How will the segment evolve going forward? Very quickly before we move to the third segment.
Sure. I think so. Manoj, very interesting aspect that you've asked me to touch upon. So evolution is purely driven by adoption. That's what I see. It's demand driving supply and supply driving demand. So at times, what I see happening with NFTs is two things primarily. One, on one side, it is giving rise to new business models like artists getting paid or funded by fans and sports teams being funded by fans. I recently saw a survey. Our sports team had to take a decision, and they actually opened that decision up to their fans, and the fans started they started voting on
Fantastic.
that particular decision. The
Fantastic.
ones who were owning their NFTs could actually vote on that decision. So there are things like these. There are new models of engagement and revenue making which are opening up. On the other side, the cost of distribution has sort of gone down because of NFT. So imagine now you can actually create music at home in your home studio and still have a
Sure.
fan base and release it to your close group. And you can be an author, you can be you can be actually there are new breed of digital artists coming up who just create art in the metaverse, and
Perfect.
they start selling that art via NFTs.
We'll
So
discuss
so
in detail
imagine
more
that
about
cost
the
of
metaverse
distribution.
in
They don't need
details.
to yeah. So they don't need to go to an art gallery to sell things. They don't need to
Sure.
go to
Yeah.
anybody to sell things. They can start selling online directly. So cost of distribution gone down big time.
Fantastic piece of word that is coming from
Yeah.
Samrat. What's your view, Prasanna? Can you take us through the rising popularity and adoption? Because this is as a universe is working towards it. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, so I think I agree with the Samrat, Srini, and Varun. So before going into that next question, so why it is getting more popularized? So I think when you talk about digital assets, and gone were those days, we were only going to go about physical assets. The new generation and the type of the way we are interacting with a lot of digital ways, digital asset is taking a lot of traction. Say example, Mona Lisa painting, right? It's a single painting, but can you not have some copies of Mona Lisa painting? And I can say,
Exactly, we can have.
own that painting, right? So as a digital, and similarly you talk about Yura Singh's 6 sixes, right? It's a moment. I
No
think
one can
those
forget
days,
that.
Yeah, those days I have seen that some of the people, crazy people, were buying those cassette CDs of India-Pakistan match, right? So imagine this is a new universe wherein
Sure.
we are taking ownership of those digital medias.
Perfect.
And what Samrat said, digital artist. So with the blockchain coming into picture, it's a security which brings, right? So you cannot really say that this particular content which we have created on digital economy
Sure.
is owned by me or owned by somebody. So
Sure.
blockchain gives that security. There is huge potential around this. There is huge popularity. Visa, Budweiser, likewise, there are many Fortune 500 companies are investing into that. On a sports side, NBA's, right? NBA Top Shot is one of those marketplace.
The recent example of Staples Stadium.
I will not be surprised in
Yeah,
India
exactly.
for cricket, similar thing will happen. I think
Perfect.
it's a huge game here onwards.
That's a big
Manoj.
statement, Prasanna. I mean, cricket is something which everyone would love to see that. So can you take us through the rising popularity and adoption of NFT? If you can just, you have given many examples. If you can just elaborate more on that for our viewers, because this is the show which we are bringing for our viewers to simplify NFTs and we are making them understand the importance and relevance of NFTs. You have already highlighted that people can make money. How to make money? This is what our main objective is in NFTs rather.
Yeah, so NFT, I mean, there's been exponential growth in funding as well as trading of NFTs.
Sure.
I think NFT volumes have crossed, I think, almost $20 billion a month. And they are saying it will be about $15 trillion by 2025. That's the value of the NFT markets, right? So it's going to be exponential growth. And how do you make money? As Samrat has rightly put in, anybody now can become a creator and create something unique and could put it up in a marketplace.
All right, Varun, if you can just quickly add to what's the rising popularity and adoption, so that we can understand the importance and relevance of that.
Yeah, sure. I would actually
no.
touch back on Samrat's point. I think Samrat made a beautiful point on the co-creation part, right? So when your fans, right, they're not passively consuming content, but they're actually in the process of creating content, right? So
Super.
that gives them empowerment, right? So they can actually now have, more, interest and, engagement, customer engagement model, right? So that's what I call it, right? So how it helps basically to create the, collaborative ownership and drive the content, right? So likewise, if I look at it today, right, another have examples like platforms like LinkedIn, right? I think I believe that, in future you might see a LinkedIn of NFTs, right? Where you have your NFTs, where, all your work history is documented, right? And employers might ask for you, right? Because today, if you look at it, many people fudge their, profiles or their resumes, and there's no proper mechanism to track it, right? So if I may say, LinkedIn of NFTs might be one of the use cases.
Some
And finally, again, a section which I'm bullish on is, financialization of NFTs, right?
Superb.
If you look at today, we NFTs are not, divisible, right? If you talk about NFT fractionalization, like say, I can, split the dividends, I can split the revenues, you will see an exponential growth of, NFTs as financial assets. I think that is where the meat lies, when we talk about financial assets.
Really?
DeFi marrying NFTs.
Perfect.
Those are-
So very interesting thing, the concept in itself is very interesting. LinkedIn NFTs, Prasanna, you also spoke about cricket. What's your view, Samrat, on this? What are you bringing in?
If I were to talk about what I did in the past, I sold 5 NFTs in the beginning of this year. I raised some money because India was badly hit with COVID, and I wanted to donate something, so I did things out of my own pocket, as well as I thought,
Lovely, super.
why not I just go to OpenSea? I had a coin collection. As a kid, I used to collect coins, so I published 20 of those coins. So 5 got picked up. I had started off with $1,000. For a bid, people started bidding, and they went up to 4.5, and then it got sold. So I was happy, when I really saw that money coming in. I mean, I did not sell anything in millions, so I was not as happy as people have
That
been
day will
publishing in the
definitely come,
news.
Samrat.
Yeah, I think great.
So that was in the past, and currently I'm advising a startup which is creating, something which Varun just spoke about, which is partial ownership of NFT royalties. So they are catering to the, everlasting demand of artists. Artists are, at times they lose credit, at times they are not able to collaborate with other artists because they don't know how to split royalties.
Perfect.
So I'm advising these
Superb.
startups to create one software where they could just, artists could just come and collaborate and split
Fantastic.
royalties. Even if the artists are gone, their families will keep getting it.
All right, so Samrat spoke about royalties, and my next question to you, Prasanna, is we are talking about this space, and it is actually growing day by day.
Yes.
So, why are some NFTs so expensive? I mean, Samrat also spoke about, he was unable to sell his NFT in millions, but why are this? I mean, $500, $1,000 हम समझ सकते हैं, लेकिन ये तो millions में जा रहा है.
Yeah, I think you need to understand power of digital assets here, right?
Exactly.
Or the whole gamified around digital assets. Say example, I was talking about Mona Lisa painting, right? This is unique. Or you
Right.
talk about Taj Mahal, or you talk
Right.
about those moments. Typically, I call those moments as a NFT moments.
All right.
Say example, Crypto TV. The first video of a Crypto TV. Imagine, right, the traction, and imagine the value of that first video of Crypto TV. Ownership of that after 10 years.
Fantastic.
Say example, Jack Dorsey, which is a Twitter's ex-CEO, right? He has almost so many millions, right, for a first Twitter tweet. So I think that's the traction, right? People here today are a lot of gung-ho about those digital moments, right? Yuvraj Singh 6 sixes, you talk about my own, right? So I'll not be surprised there will be a marketplace of NFTs where it's called as a human NFTs, right? Human talent NFTs. It will be open for all the human beings. Everybody can be an influencer or artist, and they can claim their ownership with a blockchain technology in the backend. So I think why popularity is coming, young breed is a more gung-ho about digital assets, and they want to really show this is my own, right? So if somebody wants to really claim that particular moment, which is a Mona Lisa's painting or
Sure.
something like Yuvraj Singh 6, so that's a wow moment for them. So that is how I'll not be surprised this market will go very high.
So you spoke about Twitter's ex-CEO Jack Dorsey, and I mean, roughly around $3 million के करीब उनको मिला था. वो उनको पैसे मिले और उसके बाद में नए सीईओ भी आ गए हैं,
Yeah.
पराग अग्रवाल.
Yeah.
तो ये क्या पैसे कमा के मतलब रिटायरमेंट ये full on
I think
NFT का
he
सीन
has a
चल रहा है.
different plans, right? So getting into blockchain, it
All
could
right,
be,
all
right?
right,
So
okay.
I think in this forum we may not discuss that, but that's how.
That's taken. My next question is to Srini sir. Why blockchain is required for this? If you can just highlight that in detail, sir.
Yeah, so blockchain offers the ability to prove your ownership, right?
Right.
In an
Perfect.
irrevocable, immutable, authentic manner. So what happens is if you create something and put it up on the blockchain, a ledger which is stored by number of nodes, so it's not possible to tamper that, right, ownership.
Correct.
Perfect.
So while in that's also the first use case of that's how blockchain has come into existence.
Absolutely.
So before blockchain was introduced, it is easy to create something and replicate it and put it any number of
Superb.
things, and there is no timestamp potentially which is recorded permanently on a ledger like a blockchain. So
Excellent.
because there is no proper timestamp which can be verified, so it was not possible to claim the ownership. In NFT, the biggest value comes from owning some piece of something very unique, right? So which we need to understand is all identities, unique identities on a blockchain, whether it is a thing or person or asset, whatever it is, or a transaction ID, these are all unique, right? Every hash is unique.
Sure.
But the non-fungible token actually it combines metadata and also some sort of a digital file representation of what we are talking about, what we are everybody is desiring, what you are owning, right? And then it will keep growing in the value, and it is super rare sort of a piece. So there are a lot of features associated with an NFT, which actually
Sure.
makes it
Correct.
valuable and desirable. And all these things, the value can be traded, value can be enjoyed with a person's owner. Because blockchain facilitates that. Without blockchain,
Sure.
it is not possible to
Absolutely,
prove
yeah,
your
yeah.
ownership. and
Absolutely,
everything.
absolutely, Srini sir. Varun, timestamp and uniqueness. These are the two keywords which I have picked from Srini sir. What's your keywords?
So my keyword would be again, if you look at from example perspective, all this NBA things already existed, right? The collectible card, right? So the uniqueness of blockchain comes from tradability, right? So NFTs actually
Tradability.
create a secondary trading market. Whatever was illiquid before, now people can easily trade it, right? And actually monetize their creation, right? So earlier, I think that part was missing, and blockchain plays a very essential role here, right? Because when we have ownership on something, and if there is no, guarantee that anybody can, replicate this thing, so
Super.
blockchain proves me that authenticity, that immutability, and again, NFTs again by definition, they're unique assets, right? And if blockchain can prove that to me, that this is what belongs to me at any point of time from anywhere in the world, right? So that gives attractiveness to the whole value
Absolutely.
proposition of NFT, right? Because
Sure.
you build a lot of use cases on this.
Sure, there are many keywords, but Samrat, Varun spoke well about monetization, uniqueness, and tradability. What's your keywords?
Absolutely. No, I think being the third on the panel is more like and with such.
All right, so
with
we'll
such
start the next segment
learned
from you
people-
also.
No. But I can still take it up.
All right.
The thing is, after the keywords which have been spoken so far by the other two panelists, I would like to add immortality. This is something which people are seeing in the real value. When you were talking, you asked the question to Prasanna about millions of dollars being spent on NFTs. That is the sole thing which people are seeing, that I have a mark on this planet. Even if I'm gone, this is going to stay here, and
Superb.
it is going to carry my name. That's something which people are seeing, and that can only be possible by the use of something like blockchain.
Immortality.
Yeah, I think what everybody spoke about, right? Why blockchain? So blockchain gives that traction of security. Nobody can replicate that.
Yeah.
And suppose the artist is there.
Yes.
Suppose he says that this is my video, this is something I have done, this is my painting, this is something my moment. He can give that ownership to somebody else. So
Sure.
it's like sending ownership. That too, the whole traceability of the ownership can be tracked on the blockchain.
Superb.
Say example, selling of land. Tomorrow, those use cases can come onto blockchain. Moreover, selling of a land in a fractions with the help of a tokenization, that is also possible. So opportunities are immense. It is only that how do we really get into the next step?
Excellent.
So while we have media and entertainment, sports moment, or magical moments, or I call them as NFT moment, there are many more use cases can come for corporates also. And I think NFTs can be implemented without blockchain, so-called centralized NFTs or decentralized NFTs. But more or less, value will go better on decentralized NFTs because it gives security, it gives a lot of comfort for end users. Yeah.
So I think so we will open the fifth segment from Samrat. The next question is to you. What will be the corporate role in NFT products and pricing? We are talking about corporate versus retail, and what will be the individual consumer's role? These are two different things. When we are comparing corporates with individuals, we're talking about millions versus thousands. So how you want to start this?
Excellent. So no, I think that is a debate which is still going on. That which of these two forces is going to be the biggest driver for NFTs market value or the adoption.
Sure.
On one side there are retail investors and there are people like common people like us who buy individual NFTs and it's largely towards collectibles and art and artwork, etc. While on the other side, I mean, Varun has been touching upon this point since the beginning, which is the whole financial side of things of the NFT market. I mean, I have been working with a company which is creating invoices, which is converting invoices into NFTs. So I mean, invoice discounting is a pretty known use case in the blockchain ecosystem. All of us know about it, and it's an age-old business for the banks. What this company is now doing is it is converting invoices into NFTs, so they are literally parked, with the banks till the time the funds are not released. So that that has implications in the legal framework which is involved in lending out that money. What that also means is for the real world, what does that mean for the business? For the business it means faster money. You transfer that invoice on one side,
Super.
and on the other side, they don't have to do underwriting anymore. They don't have to do, their processing has become way faster.
So as Varun, जैसे सम्राट ने अभी just कहा कि यहाँ पर there is an NFT for invoices. Just imagine a person who is in the business of only invoices, and he has done this for last 20 years. Just imagine the pain he must be going through.
Absolutely. I think, this is one of the, hidden gem what Samrat mentioned, right?
Excellent.
Likewise, if you look at today's market, right, I would like to touch on, blockchain gaming aspect, right, where NFTs are really, playing a very crucial role because, game used to exist. People used to buy characters, people used to play.
Super.
And again, with this NFTs
Valid
concept
point.
coming into picture, one character to another game, right? So now one character can be swappable in another game, right? So if I'm playing Cyclic
Super.
Clash of Titans, or I'm playing like say another game, right? So or say Axie Infinity, I can swap my characters without worrying about any complexity, right? And I can pay and earn, right? So blockchain NFTs, is giving me that space. And and coming back to your question, right? I think very interesting question, right? In terms of institutional adoption, right? And
Right.
this is where the real money is, right? I mean, retail can do up to a certain point, but if you look at it, there's a lot of activity has been growing in 2021, and that is primarily because of the use case which Samrat mentioned or the blockchain in gaming aspect. So this is where the real money is, and people have institutional deal. And if you look at today's graph, right? There's a lot of venture capitalist deal has happened, big ones, right? In terms of blockchain and NFTs, and these are very nascent concept. But I think the traction is happening. You will see a lot of 2022. I think will be a very defining. 2021 set the tone. I believe 2022 will be a game changer in terms of maturity of this ecosystem.
Superb.
And equal participation from institutional investors.
So Srini sir, Varun has already spoke about 2022 and optimistic statement he has passed. What's your view on this, corporate versus the retail individuals?
Yeah. So as Prasanna was mentioning some time back, you have different types of blockchain systems, permissioned and permissionless blockchain systems. Enterprises generally use permissioned public blockchain systems or permissioned private consortium or consortium blockchains. So you can create unique assets on these permissioned blockchains, which are then traded amongst or the values realized or exchanged among certain known participants. And in real estate, in event management, in or it is licensing, or IPs, establishing IPs of products, or then selling rights for a given item, for a given territory, or franchising, etc. So there are a number of ways in which enterprises have started using, these NFTs. Even Samrat was talking about, invoices getting converted into NFTs, educational qualifications getting converted into NFTs, data sets getting converted into NFTs. So there are a number of ways in which enterprises have started using it. As far as the permissionless ecosystems are concerned, there's a problem there, because they have Ethereum network, Bitcoin network, Binance network, or some of these permissionless blockchain networks.
Sure.
wherein the governments are, little jittery about, nobody being accountable and responsible on these blockchains. So these things could have regulatory backlash. So though it is growing very fast, there are a lot of money that is being made because of the growth of the NFT, the crypto ecosystem to trillions of dollars.
Perfect.
Because of Bitcoin price going up, Ethereum price going up. All this money is getting refueled into assets like NFTs on public permissionless blockchains.
Sure.
All that could also one day be in trouble if there is a problem of regulatory backlash. Right.
Absolutely.
For example, India would ban all crypto assets. They're trying. Or maybe yesterday there was an encouraging statement from Narendra Modi Saab that we will look at evolving a very, very progressive
Sure.
regulatory regime in collaboration with all the other countries.
Prasanna, I mean, the corporates are playing a T20 and are retail individuals playing a test match or a 50-over match?
No, I think it is a vice versa, right? Retail are more into T20
Vice versa,
and
yeah.
corporates are really going on to the next level. There are so many use cases, and some of the use cases I can say that's example gold loan, right? Wherein a retail customer comes to the bank and I can really put it on NFT by saying that ownership of this gold now is transferred to the bank for that loan, right? So
Sure.
that's how could be the one use case. And why this? Because today's era or yesterday's era, I would say it was a centralized era, right? Web application where anybody can snatch your post. Like say example, there are some videos I will create, put it on YouTube. Anybody can download and put it on his handle and say these are created by me.
Excellent.
But tomorrow these things come on to NFT or that kind of ecosystem with blockchain into that overall ecosystem, which
Superb.
safeguards your interest, it safeguards your IP, it safeguards your digital asset. So that is why it's very, very important. Now look at corporate mindset, they will bring on lot of similar use cases. While we move more towards sharing economy, under sharing economy, we need trust. And
Right.
when we need trust, we build on
Excellent.
these NFT marketplaces on a blockchain kind of a technology.
Superb. Shared economy and trust, most important two keywords which I've picked. My next question is to Srini sir, why blockchain is required for this? If you can just highlight that in detail, sir.
Yeah, so blockchain offers the ability to prove your ownership, right?
Right.
In an
Perfect.
irrevocable, immutable, authentic manner. So what happens is if you create something and put it up on the blockchain, a ledger which is stored by number of nodes, so it's not possible to tamper that, right? Ownership.
Correct.
Perfect.
So while in that's also the first use case of that's how blockchain has come into existence.
Absolutely.
So before blockchain was introduced, it is easy to create something and replicate it and put it any number of
Superb.
things, and there is no timestamp potentially which is recorded permanently on a ledger. Like a blockchain. So
Excellent.
because there is no proper timestamp which can be verified, so it was not possible to claim the ownership. In NFT, the biggest value comes from owning some piece of something very unique, right? So which we need to understand is all identities, unique identities on a blockchain, whether it is a thing or person or asset, whatever it is, or a transaction ID, these are all unique, right? Every hash is unique.
Sure.
But the non-fungible token actually it combines metadata and it and also some sort of a digital file representation of what we are talking about, what we are everybody is desiring, what you are owning, right? And then it will keep growing in the value, and it is super rare sort of a piece. So there are a lot of features associated with an NFT, which actually
Sure.
makes it
Correct.
valuable and desirable. And all these things, the value can be traded, value can be enjoyed with a person's owner. Because blockchain facilitates that. Without blockchain,
Sure.
it is not possible to
Absolutely,
prove
yeah,
your
yeah.
ownership.
Absolutely, absolutely, Srini sir. Varun, timestamp and uniqueness. These are the two keywords which I have picked from Srini sir. What's your keywords?
So my keyword would be again, if you look at from example perspective, all this NBA things already existed, right? The collectible card, right? So the uniqueness of blockchain comes from tradability, right? So NFTs actually
Credibility.
create a secondary trading market. Whatever was illiquid before, now people can easily trade it, right? And actually monetize their creation, right? So earlier, I think that part was missing, and blockchain plays a very essential role here, right? But when we have ownership on something, and if there is no, guarantee that anybody can, replicate this thing, so
Super.
blockchain proves me that, authenticity, that immutability. And again, NFTs, again, by definition, they're unique assets, right? And if blockchain can prove that to me, that this is what, belongs to me at any point of time from anywhere in the world, right? So that gives attractiveness to the whole value
Absolutely.
proposition of NFT, right? Because
Sure.
you build a lot of use cases on this.
Sure, there are many keywords, but Samrat, Varun spoke well about monetization, uniqueness, and tradability. What's your keywords?
Absolutely. No, I think being the third on the panel is more like and with such
All right, so
with
we'll start
such
the next segment
learned
from you
people.
also.
No. But I can still take it up.
All right.
The thing is, after the keywords which have been spoken so far by the other two panelists, I would like to add immortality. This is something which people are
Yeah.
seeing in the real value. When you were talking, you asked the question to Prasanna about millions of dollars being spent on NFTs. That is the sole thing which people are seeing, that I have a mark on this planet. Even if I'm gone, this is going to stay here and it
Superb.
is going to carry my name. That's something which people are seeing, and that can only be possible by the use of something like blockchain.
Immortality.
Yeah, I think what everybody spoke about, right? Why blockchain? So blockchain gives that traction of security. Nobody can replicate that.
Yeah.
And suppose the artist is there.
Yes.
Suppose he says that this is my video, this is something I have done, this is my painting, this is something my moment. He can give that ownership to somebody else. So
Sure.
it's like sending ownership. That too, the whole traceability of the ownership can be tracked on the blockchain.
Superb.
Say example, selling of a land. Tomorrow, those use cases can come onto blockchain. Moreover, selling of a land in a fractions with the help of a tokenization, that is also possible. So opportunities are immense. It is only that how do we really get into the next step?
Excellent.
So while we have media and entertainment, sports moment, or magical moments, or I call them as NFT moment, there are many more use cases can come for corporates also. And I think NFTs can be implemented without blockchain, so-called centralized NFTs or decentralized NFTs. But more or less, value will go better on decentralized NFTs because it gives security, it gives a lot of comfort for end users. Yeah.
So I think so we will open the fifth segment from Samrat. The next question is to you. What will be the corporate role in NFT products and pricing? We are talking about corporate versus retail, and what will be the individual consumer's role? These are two different things. When we are comparing corporates with individuals, we're talking about millions versus thousands. So how do you want to start this?
Excellent. So no, I think that is a debate which is still going on. That which of these two forces is going to be the biggest driver for NFTs market value or the adoption.
Sure.
On one side there are retail investors and there are people like common people like us who buy individual NFTs and it's largely towards collectibles and art and artwork, etc. While on the other side, I mean, Varun has been touching upon this point since the beginning, which is the whole financial side of things of the NFT market. I mean, I have been working with a company which is creating invoices, which is converting invoices into NFTs. So I mean, invoice discounting is a pretty known use case in the blockchain ecosystem. All of us know about it, and it's an age-old business for the banks. What this company is now doing is it is converting invoices into NFTs, so they are literally parked, with the banks till the time the funds are not released. So that that has implications in the legal framework which is involved in lending out that money. What that also means is for the real world, what does that mean for the business? For the business it means faster money. You transfer that invoice on one side,
Superb.
and on the other side, they don't have to do underwriting anymore. They don't have to do their processing has become way faster.
So as Varun, जैसे सम्राट ने अभी just कहा कि यहाँ पर there is an NFT for invoices. Just imagine a person who is in the business of only invoices, and he has done this for last 20 years. Just imagine the pain he must be going through.
Absolutely. I think, this is one of the, hidden gem what Samrat mentioned, right?
Excellent.
Likewise, if you look at today's market, right, I would like to touch on, blockchain gaming aspect, right, where NFTs are really, playing a very crucial role because, game used to exist. People used to buy characters, people used to play.
Superb.
And again, with this NFTs
Valid
concept
point.
coming into picture, one character to another game, right? So now one character can be swappable in another game, right? So if I'm playing
Superb.
Clash of Titans, or I'm playing say another game, right? So or say Axie Infinity, I can swap my characters without worrying about any complexity, right? And I can pay and earn, right? So blockchain NFTs, is giving me that space. And and coming back to your question, right? I think very interesting question, right? In terms of institutional adoption, right? And
Right.
this is where the real money is, right? I mean, retail can do up to a certain point, but if you look at it, there's a lot of activity has been growing in 2021, and that is primarily because of the use case which Samrat mentioned, or the blockchain in gaming aspect. So this is where the real money is, and people have institutional deal. And if you look at today's graph, right? There's a lot of venture capitalist deal has happened, big ones, right? In terms of blockchain and NFTs, and these are very nascent concept. But I think the traction is happening. You will see a lot of 2022. I think will be a very defining. 2021 set the tone. I believe 2022 will be a game changer in terms of
Yeah.
maturity of this ecosystem,
Superb.
and equal participation from institutional investors.
So, Srini sir, Varun has already spoke about 2022 and optimistic statement he has passed. What's your view on this, corporate versus the retail individuals?
Yeah. So as Prasanna was mentioning some time back, you have different types of blockchain systems, permissioned and permissionless blockchain systems. Enterprises generally use permissioned public blockchain systems or permissioned private consortium or consortium blockchains. So you can create unique assets on these permissioned blockchains, which are then traded amongst, or the values realized or exchanged among certain known participants. And in real estate, in event management, in or it is licensing, or IPs, establishing IPs of products, or then selling rights for a given item, for a given territory, or franchising, etc. So there are number of ways in which enterprises have started using these NFTs. Even Samrat was talking about invoices getting converted into NFTs, educational qualifications getting converted into NFTs, data sets getting converted into NFTs. So there are a number of ways in which enterprises have started using it. As far as the permissionless ecosystems are concerned, there's a problem there, because they have Ethereum network, Bitcoin network, Binance network, or some of these permissionless blockchain networks,
Sure.
wherein the governments are, little jittery about, nobody being accountable and responsible on these blockchains. So these things could have regulatory backlash. So though it is growing very fast, there are a lot of money that is being made because of the growth of the NFT, the crypto ecosystem, to trillions of dollars.
Perfect.
Because of Bitcoin price going up, Ethereum price going up. All this money is getting refueled into assets like NFTs on public permissionless blockchains.
Sure.
All that could also one day be in trouble if there is a problem of regulatory backlash. Right.
Absolutely.
For example, India would ban all crypto assets. They're moving towards. They're trying. Or maybe yesterday there was an encouraging statement from Narendra Modi Saab that we will look at evolving a very, very progressive
Sure.
regulatory regime in collaboration with all the other countries.
Prasanna, I mean, the corporates are playing a T20 and are retail individuals playing a test match or a 50-over match?
No, I think it is a vice versa, right? Retail are more into T20
Vice versa.
and
Yeah.
corporates are really going on to the next level. There are so many use cases, and some of the use cases I can say, that's the example, gold loan, right? Wherein a retail customer comes to the bank, and I can really put it on NFT by saying that ownership of this gold now is transferred to the bank for that loan, right? So that's how could be the one use case. And why this? Because today's era or yesterday's era, I would say it was a centralized era, right? Web application where anybody can snatch your post. Like say example, there are some videos I will create, put it on YouTube. Anybody can download and put it on his handle and say these are created by me.
Excellent.
But tomorrow these things come on to NFT or that kind of ecosystem with blockchain into that overall ecosystem, which safeguards your interest, it safeguards your IP, it safeguards your digital asset. So that is why it's very, very important. Now look at corporate mindset, they will bring on lot of similar use cases. While we move more towards sharing economy, under sharing economy, we need trust. And when we need trust, we build on these NFT marketplaces on a blockchain kind of a technology.
Super. Shared economy and trust, most important two keywords which I've picked. But my next question is to Varun. Is an estimated, please correct me if I'm wrong, 15 million crypto asset holders have put in roughly around 660 odd crores in this space. I mean, I'm talking about the crypto assets, holding. So if you, if you want to highlight and if you want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, I think these numbers again, highlight that growing interest in India, right? I mean, if you look
Exactly.
at it last year, India was nowhere in the frame of, like even the, top 5. And today, suddenly we leapfrog to the number 1, right? I think people have started, realizing the value of crypto assets, right? In overall nutshell, again, they're playing T20. But I think, this is where I believe, crypto TV plays a very significant
Yeah.
role of changing the,
Thank you.
perception of investor education, right? Right now,
Thank you, sir.
even the numbers you look at it, they might not be accurate. This is just based on perception, right? I mean,
Sure.
different organizations have different number, but still, I think, looking at our demographics, our population, we have a huge potential untapped, right? And in terms of, people having alternate source of income, and again, as I think Srini sir rightly mentioned, it all depends upon, the regulatory clarity. Indian regulators are doing their homework, and we are hopeful that, a middle ground will be taken.
Perfect.
In terms of, the innovation is sustainable and not stifled.
So, Srini sir, Varun has mentioned most 2 important words, that is huge potential and untapped. So, what are your 2 key words and the growing popularity of NFTs?
Yeah, so my 2 cents are that we should be more concerned about the use cases and utility of this NFT rather than speculatory potential. For example,
Absolutely.
most of the time people buy earn something more good in cryptocurrency and flow it back into buying some NFT, hoping it will go up. The problem with the NFTs in the public space is that they are so unique. You just don't know what is the real price. The price is how do you judge a price of an NFT? It's because somebody else has paid huge money, but how do you know why somebody has paid? It's a unique one, right? If you have some 100 pieces of a category, then you can define that this is the price at which we are we are launching it or whatever. So initial minting, of course, it all at certain price, which is discovered once again through auctions, and there is virtually currently there is not much of benchmarks as to how you can value
Yes.
an NFT. So I would not advise people
Perfect.
to go, and buy NFTs just because you expect somebody else to buy. But here you have real life utility cases, whether it is event
Superb.
management, ticketing, or invoice discounting, or real estate, or IP. Or selling, using it. If I am having, I'm selling a master franchisee for one particular
Perfect.
territory. I would sell it to create an NFT out of it and sell it, and then it could be traded to somebody else who wants it more.
Sure.
So that way, you look at utility and then use that NFT for its potential rather than a potential use case and the value, rather than
Correct.
having a speculatory investment in this.
So, Samrat, the one important word I picked up is a word of caution from Mr. Srinivasan. It is not actually it's not decided how it is valued. So, what is your opinion on that?
No, I think that's that's how it is designed. The system is designed to be in a way that you can't put a price tag to an art, right? It totally depends on what the seller wants to sell it at and what the buyer wants to buy it at. So and then there are these various use cases. I'm notwithstanding the corporate use cases, of course, corporate use cases will have to be tied to specific prices. But if we talk about the use cases which are most appealing, like the examples which Varun gave around gaming elements being used and bought and traded. So once trading comes in, the sanity goes out of the window. That's what I believe.
Perfect.
The other thing which I want to highlight at this stage is, even if crypto gets banned, let's talk hypothetically. Even if crypto gets banned, nobody's banning NFTs. NFTs are just tokens. NFT is not money.
Yeah.
So an NFT cannot be regulated. So piece of art, I can just go buy anything from anybody, right? So I bought a piece of code from somebody. I paid them in dollars or in ETH. Does not really matter, right? If I paid them in ETH, if it was not legal at that time, I'm sure my friends in the startup world will come up with an idea where, and there are payment gateways which exist, which will take my dollars, convert into ETH, and give it to somebody.
Yes, possible.
So I think it is. The ownership and adoption is becoming very, very easy. And I'm a proponent of speculation and increasing prices, because I think that's one of the key reasons why the value is being driven up. Remember Beto Kovan again. One person from Indian origin, he bought an NFT for 69 million. I think that was the snowball moment. That was the moment when everybody started reading that news and everybody started talking about that.
किसी का
you know,
नाम हो ना
why
हो,
this
people
guy
का नाम
thinks
बहुत
it's
बढ़
an
गया
NFT.
ऊपर.
Yeah, so I think
Exactly.
I'll give some my insights, right? Say example, in 1995, internet came in our life, right? We couldn't imagine
Yeah.
that we will see movies or web series onto the internet. That too, you have to see it by paying something. Who is really deciding it will cost $99
Yeah.
or who is deciding that it is 1,000 rupees for a Netflix subscription on Amazon Prime?
Seller
It's
and buyer.
Yeah, seller, buyer, and demand supply, right? That's how is the internet era.
Excellent.
Now, there are flaws in internet era. You can go into the cinema halls, record those movies. We could have seen that kind of a frauds were happening, right? Blockchain comes and that too NFT comes and this whole amalgamation comes and says that we will safeguard this whole content juggleries or content frauds are happening. That's one of the biggest use cases. That is why that is more popular, right? Artists don't want to see that his video is being published automatically in some other Netflix or Amazon without his consent, right? So similarly, while there are retail use cases, I think there will be a lot of corporate use cases will be coming up, huge number of, right? Wherever, say example, your identity. I carry my own identity, right? Why do I have to store my identity at that Aadhaar database, right?
Superb.
It is my identity. If
is
you want
your-
to utilize it from my ownership.
up to
right?
you how to use
Yeah,
it.
so I create identity, NFT identity of mine, and tomorrow suppose it is regularized in better way. I think it's a different ball game altogether. So that's the traction. It is up to us which are those use cases will come up, will get at mainstream and so on. But opportunity is huge, Manoj. Yeah.
But Varun, मजाक में crypto industry, there are, we have 2 unicorns and over 350 crypto startups, indicating a flourishing industry. So I mean, we're talking about India, और यहाँ से लेकर optimism and potential कितना बड़ा है?
So these numbers are even when there is a regulatory gray area, right? So you can only
Alright.
imagine if there is a clarity, how many, startups will pop up. And I think this one actually holds potential to, leapfrog India in this, world startup hub, right? Because all this while, if you look historically, India always have been the, the back office kind of, infrastructure. While we have, enormous talent, abundance of, people here, and because this blockchain, I believe, holds that potential to make India the epicenter of all this innovation happening, right?
Valid
So
point.
I believe
Superb.
a lot of potential. We are just at the tip of the iceberg. Even without regulatory clarity, we have so much activity happening. I can only imagine, if there is a proper framework legislation, we will actually skyrocket to one of the top 3, I believe.
Framework and legislation. Srini sir, what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, so it's very important because if you there is no regulation and there is no regulatory clarity, and the Indian government would say, we will ban all cryptocurrencies, crypto or cryptocurrency denominated assets. Ultimately, all these NFTs, the way they are valued is or bought is through some blockchain-based coin, right? Right. So it's very important that government comes out with some sort of a framework. And most important, suppose if government of India says, I'm going to have a crypto asset of myself, like the central bank digital currency on a blockchain, on a national permission blockchain, permission public blockchain. So against that, you can have all these NFTs denominated. So straight away you get the regulatory clarity, and you have an opportunity, or to buy and legally, own and trade NFTs. So the central bank digital currency on a blockchain is the way out.
Yes.
If you want to really give a big boost to this entire use cases of NFT, both for enterprises or also to own your assets, whether it is art, collectibles, gaming, assets or whatever, in the form of some sort of a blockchain-based asset. So
CBDCs
regulation
is, I mean,
extremely
it's your
important.
pitch. I mean, over to you.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, today.
I think Srini has pointed out a very good thing, right? So while we are in the mid of a cryptocurrency regulations, a lot of those challenges, the use cases are very important for what purpose we are going to do. And moreover, if you see, I think I am not in a view of regulating any technology. Right, but I am in a view of regulating business model, regulating how it is being utilized.
Perfect.
The way we see use case of cryptos, or those mainstream cryptos, right, which everybody knows.
Right.
What is the use case for a citizen who is living around me, right? But if I bring on NFT with a blockchain backed up by some fiat currency, say example CBDC, which is a central bank digital currency, which can be amalgamated very easily into this ecosystem, it gives a lot of traction for right use cases.
Lovely.
retail use cases, you talk about corporate use cases. That is why it is very, very important in India to bring on a better regulation. I am not saying that regulation should kill the magic of technology. It should rather further, it should enhance that technology in benefit of every Indian, every citizen or every artist.
Fantastic.
If you bring on in the right direction, I think that will be really good thing. Otherwise, we'll see some other parallel economy always coming in and giving some kind of a challenge to the CBDCs and so on. Yeah.
I think so. We spoke about NFT coins. I think so. Varun, you spoke about Axie Infinity. So what is this space? I mean, if you can just touch base, or you can just guide our viewers ki what is happening. Decentraland काफी बढ़ गया है. Axie Infinity, you spoke about metaverse. Is this the metaverse की वजह से ये बढ़ रहा है या तो it's the meta factor?
So I think that's a very interesting question, and I want to take a step back, and I'll be very candid here. Like I was not able to wrap my head around, to this concept itself, right? Decentral land, people buying, a piece of digital land for millions.
So it's up over 1000%, Varun.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, but then when I started studying deep, I think earlier some of the panel members touched upon it, right? It's a human psychology. All this digital native generation right now we have, they are better users of this technology, right? I would say I'm in a transition phase. It will take time for me to understand, right?
All right.
I think the future again, will be a hybrid one, right? A complete metaverse, I don't think will stand stall without regulations. So it's an evolving space. For example, I want to give you an example. A country of Bahamas, they've established an embassy in Decentraland, right? So that's a huge thing. It will provide real life services in a decentralized world, right? So I mean, again, you see a combination of real world activity in metaverse world, right?
Yes.
So it's a very evolving concept. You will see a lot of traction happening, and at some point of time, there will be a need of regulation, right? And I think Prasanna really, robustly mentioned that, you don't want to kill the magic of technology, you don't want to stifle it, but you want to protect the, investors, because all this while we have talked about the, great use cases. And when this happens, you always have the dark side also parallelly working on it to see, how can we hack, how can we do this, right?
Absolutely.
So, and again, you look at it, the retail investors today, I think, over a period of time, they will actually grow in number, right? So how do you protect them, right? And I personally have spoken to a lot of people, in terms of, participating in crypto economy with bare minimum knowledge, right? And again, I want to reiterate the role of crypto TV here. You're going to play a very integral role in the investor education part, right?
Sure.
So because I see a lot of information asymmetry right now, right? Retail investors are always at the bottom of the pyramid, very less information, in terms of making informed decision, right? Because if you look at in today's, this crypto economy, the owner's lies on investor, right?
Lovely.
Because you are removing the intermediaries. So who owns the risk is the investor, right? And based on his own, proper decision-making capability. To enable them, I think regulators, what they want is, proper clarity on, who owns what. Because when we talk about decentralization, right, no project is 100% decentralization. I think, we got to be accepting that fact. There is some sort of, centralization involved, right? So
Sure.
regulators really want to know what kind of centralization is involved, right? Because you have seen many cases. For example, Squid, the Squid token
Squid
which
Games,
recently
yeah.
came.
Exactly.
Squid Game. So I think someone, created a token out of it, based on a game concept. And people again,
And it
and the
fell
timing was
from
very right,
2,500 to 1 cent in 3 days. That was a big
Exactly,
disaster that
so
happened.
that's the rug pull kind of thing,
Exactly.
Yes.
people didn't realize, they went with the flow and lost money, right? So this is what, again,
Sure.
it can have a very snowball effect in India's economy.
Sure.
And our regulators are very, mindful of that fact in terms of how to stop this, right? So I think
Perfect.
it will take time to, evolve.
Prasanna, metaverse, and we are talking about metaverse and the broader impact on NFT coins. If you can just very quickly highlight on that.
Yeah, I think that's how we need to look at the next level of communication, right? So current level of communication, which is primarily matured, that is the internet.
Right.
This is two-dimensional. And immediately while 5G will come into picture and automatically Meta, which is based upon virtual reality, and augmented reality will come into picture. Facebook has renamed them as a Meta. Right,
Exactly.
so
Meta.
that's the traction will bring tomorrow's business models after 5 years will be on metaverse.
Prasanna,
right?
there were concerns on its advertising revenue as well. Revenues have actually fallen for Facebook. That's a broader concern also, right?
Yeah, I think it will evolve, right? People yet to understand the power of Meta or Metaverse.
All right,
I think
okay.
it was the right time for Facebook to get into ahead of the other companies,
Superb.
so-called Google or Microsoft and so on. Yeah.
Superb. So Srini sir, we are talking about metaverse and its importance and the impact on NFT coins. If you can just very quickly touch base before we move on to our last segment.
So, yeah, metaverse is a very very rich form of audio, visual, and internet technology. It combines all the finest of the emerging
Sure,
technologies that we are talking about,
sure.
and people will experience internet in unforeseen ways, whether it is for official purposes or whether it is for gaming or whether it is for attending meetings virtually or having owning office spaces, everything. So there's a lot
Perfect.
of transactions that take place, a lot of even games, playing games, and winning something and rewarding something. And so there are a lot of commercial transactions that take place, and advertisement, phenomenal amount of advertisement takes place. So for all these things, so there is a value exchange unit that is required. So that's where there are a number of assets. Like for example, if I am having an avatar of Arjuna in a Mahabharata, which is being created in a three-dimensional way on a metaverse. And then, I have 5 different types of arrows, and each one has got some specific properties and can be used against specific enemies. And each one could have a separate price at which I could buy it, right? So all these things, and it could become all these arrows could become an NFT,
Sure.
and that particular arrow, for example, this Paspatastra, sort of thing,
Exactly.
metaverse, which I'm owning, I can use it in other games also, because
Yeah.
metaverse offers the opportunity to leverage all the assets that you have bought and created in different other. A
Sure.
lot of interoperability happen,
Perfect.
right? So all this phenomenal amount of interoperability that we have been missing, and choice and richness and excitement, innovation, a phenomenal amount of innovation it spawns, right?
So
So metaverse and blockchain are very much related. Blockchain is going, and NFT is going to be a big fuel for metaverse to grow, and that's where when it grows, and there's a possibility for people who are investing it to earn. That's when the ecosystem also, the builders also will get benefited, right? So and NFT is a way in which you unlock the value,
all right.
monetize all these assets, or buy all these assets, or grow your
All right.
values, and then trade your values, etc. So there are indelibly linked. Though metaverse does not mean blockchain, but blockchain and NFT are an inherent part of metaverse, which will enable investments and growth of this entire ecosystem,
Fantastic.
and be rewarding for all the people who are there, right? And also
Fantastic.
enjoyable and entertaining for everyone.
Samrat, but a very quick question on metaverse and this thing. We are speaking about decentralized land. We are talking about games. We are talking about such activities. This takes me back to my school days. So when we used to ask, where I mean, talking about decentralized land, मुझे तो Disneyland याद आ रहा है. And when we used to ask our school to take us to Disneyland, so they used to take us to Borivali National Park.
आपको एक बात याद होगी from your school days, SL World में रहूंगा मैं, घर नहीं जाऊंगा.
घर नहीं जाऊंगा मैं. Perfect.
Remember that, है ना? तो
Perfect.
metaverse के साथ वही होने वाला है.
Yes,
That's what I
absolutely.
see, which is
Superb.
happening, right?
Superb.
And I'm also a guest columnist at Economic Times. So I recently wrote an article on metaverse and NFTs, the interaction between the two. So this was one thing which came out of my research, which was how do you experience metaverse? You can experience metaverse, but you'll get bored of it. What will keep you there? What will keep you there is excitement. What will keep you there is commerce. Okay, what if I set up a shop, or I set up a shop in 5 different metaverses? Can I give a interplanetary showroom experience? Can I sell my stuff on 5 planets while my pizza is being delivered through a drone, via Domino's, which I ordered using the Alexa app? I mean, all this is possible right now. So
Lovely. Excellent.
Absolutely.
so what is important is, how do we treat commerce within, or embed commerce within metaverse? Metaverse is just at the experiential layer. What lies under is commerce. How will any technology or any venture become sustainable? It is
Sure.
only when people pay something and people sell something, right? So it is transforming how we sell things.
Sure.
It is giving me one more avenue, where we can transact. And to your question, why it does take back? I think that is also one of the reasons people are enjoying it, because they are getting that creative freedom. I mean, there are series like we've seen Westworld, we've seen Black Mirror. People enjoy that creative freedom of living a life. That's why games like Second Life have become so successful.
Superb.
People want that. It's not just entertainment. It's also sort of a relief to them, which brings them. So that's my opinion. You know,
Yes.
why
तो प्रसन्ना
people
मुझे
so important.
तीन वर्ड्स सम्राट के इससे मुझे याद आता है, एंटरटेनमेंट,
Yeah.
एंटरटेनमेंट और
And-
एंटरटेनमेंट.
I think that's how is the people are like that. People are social friendly, right?
बिल्कुल.
You have seen those
Yeah.
magic of Orkut or Facebook, right? When
Lovely.
Facebook was started, nobody would like to go away from the Facebook, right? At least young people, right? So I think that's the traction. And if you look at metaverse, it will bring that experience to the next level. Imagine that you are into that Facebook, which is on metaverse. You are interacting with your friends with the different avatars, right? You can change your avatar in a fraction of seconds. But while we do this, wherein a retail or end users or people are utilizing it, what are those corporate use cases for metaverse? And what are those regulatory guidelines? Right? How do you bring more security? So I think
Fantastic.
bringing on blockchain, because we had a mistake, right? Internet without blockchain, internet
Perfect.
without trust. I think metaverse has to be
Yeah.
on a blockchain kind of a technology. That's how I look at the whole thing. Or
So
because
but-
we have seen so many,
If I may
so
add, if
many,
I may,
so
yeah.
many things, right, on internet. People creating fake profiles, right? People creating fake ads. So that all thing all vanish on the metaverse if it brings on a right secure technology, so-called blockchain, and with more better regulation. So once again, let's not remove the magic of
Sure.
technology, but bring magic with the enhanced experience for a customer, corporates, whoever is a part of that whole marketplace.
So
Yeah.
one super word
Right.
is magic. Will create magic. So Srini sir, we are talking about regulations. What are the closing lines which you want to speak about the regulations, and going forward, what will be India's perspective on that?
Yeah. So, given that NFTs are blockchain denominated assets, so the regulation of NFTs also is linked to the regulatory ecosystem, of the blockchain itself.
Sure.
So globally, whether NFTs are crypto assets or cryptocurrencies or securities, or whether they are intellectual property rights, so it is not being clearly defined in any of the global geographies as of now. So there are a lot of gray areas, and currently they are trying to apply the similar rules what they have been applying to other financial assets.
Superb.
Now another issue is when you talk about if you say it's an asset or a security, the thing is how do you price it? At what price? Because it's a unique asset. The price that is discovered, you don't know whether it is the right price at which you can tax it or you can value the ownership of that. Because when you have something extremely rare, it is also possible to manipulate that. For example, the price of, if I want to go and buy one, Amitabh Bachchan's specific moment crypto, NFT, somebody who is owning it, you can create some artificial market, artificial transactions, and thereby increasing the value of that and palm it off to me. And after I buy it, if I'm not able to do all those things, I may get stuck with something which is worth very less, but I would have paid more. But I would be taxed at that high rate because I'm owning
All right.
something at a very high rate. So there are a lot of gray areas and confusion. And another most important thing which we have to consider is people are talking about fractionalization of NFT. Like if I and 5 other people are working together, are combining our assets and buying an NFT, that means we are going to get a fractional ownership of an asset. This is under all the blockchain terminology. It falls under the security token offering, sort of a
Sure.
system. So people would say, you are owning a part of something by investing some crypto units. So it is not a typical asset, but it is a security that you are owning because you are owning 20% of something. Okay,
Sure.
this is the way STOs are defined. So then STOs have to be regulated. There is no STO which is not regulated. STOs have to be because government has to ensure the accountability, transparency, and responsibility of the people who are issuing these security tokens. So in India, still that has not evolved, but in USA, Hong Kong, and Europe, most of the markets, and Singapore, all these places, the STO guidelines are well in place. So they would define if somebody would own a fractional asset, immediately they would apply the STO rules. And if you are not taking approval for that STO, issuing that STO, you will be jailed, right?
So Varun, we are talking about regulation. So 4 important words which I have picked up is regulation, taxation, gray area, and confusion. What is your view?
Well, I will take a step back, right? So we have been talking about decentralized world, right? Like decentralized finance, decentralized meta world, right? So by definition, it means no intermediaries, right? So you are actually doing peer-to-peer. And when you talk about regulations, you are introducing intermediaries, right? So this is where I think, the tug of war will happen between the regulators and the
Perfect.
DeFi world. But I think the goal is to find the middle ground, right? And at the same time, you give adequate, mechanism to protect the interest of the people participating in the economy. Like for example, if tomorrow I'm doing a trading in metaverse world and something happens, right? So what are my legal rights, right? So I think that clarity again, it's definitely needed. And I think Puneet sir rightly mentioned that, we are really in regulatory gray area. Of course, the step has been taken. I think that's the first point. But I think, this needs to continue the momentum. And I believe that, for regulation to happen, it's just not the responsibility of the government itself to come out with something, in
Perfect.
silo mode.
Perfect.
But the, entire participation of the ecosystem players, right? A collective representation of, the industry body. And I think this is where, organizations like, India Blockchain Forum are trying to, do their best to collectively, propose something to government and handhold them. Because again, government is in state of confusion. It's a very nascent area. So it requires total participation to come up with that, evolving regulation. Because you cannot have, one fit size all, right? Government cannot give a mandate
Fantastic.
like, one regulation on all aspects. So it's an evolving thing. All players needs to participate in, and this is how we see growing in get maturity in this space.
So Samrat, this is what Varun. I can only pick up one line is evolving regulation. What's your view on that?
Absolutely. So when Varun talks about evolution, I would say, crawl, walk, run. So it's currently crawling, and then it's going to walk someday and then run some other day. So it's currently at that stage. But and since you're doing this educational initiative, I would like to break it down into two parts. One is, you can never say that government is going to regulate blockchain. It's like saying I'm going to regulate Java and SQL and because these are technologies which can be used for applications. Now these applications can be an IRCTC. You're booking
Superb.
India's railway tickets, creating one of the best value
Niche
companies,
area.
or you can be creating a gambling website, and now that application is bad, right? So the technology is not bad, that application is bad. So and that is
Sure.
against the law. So and what people want and what the government want is one for the citizens to be protected. The other is the rights to be protected, and the other is taxation. How do we tax? You mentioned about 300 plus startups coming up. How many of these crypto companies are registered in India? How many of them are paying taxes in India? The employees, handful of employees. By design, these are small companies. So handful of employees who get salaries may be paying their income taxes. Part of these employees get paid salaries in cryptos also. So you can't even say that the Indian economy is making hay while sun is shining on the crypto companies.
Exactly.
So what is important is the regulation of cryptocurrencies. Yes, of course we need direction for that. But if you say, is that related to NFTs? My answer is no. These are two very different things. This is one application. NFTs is another application. Currently, they are linked. They are stuck behind the back because I have to pay in crypto to get NFTs, but that can be solved easily. So that is my opinion on the regulation side. Steps are being taken towards crypto side, and I would say it will be good if we don't get any intervention on the blockchain side, and there'll be I hope that companies come back and newer companies which get registered, they do that in India and they don't go overseas and take our IP and our potential tax dollars out of India.
Excellent. So what's your take on that, Prasanna? Very
Yeah, I
quickly.
think it's why do we regulate, right? So there are some agenda in front of countries, world, right? Say
Is it necessary?
Yeah, so there are 17 sustainable goals, right? So which is being announced in 2015. So like zero poor, zero hunger, a better lifestyle, financial inclusion, better health. Likewise, if you have to do that, we use a lot of technologies, a lot of business models. Now, if you say crypto is going to solve all this, yeah, most welcome. But it's not going to solve, right? Say example, blockchain going to solve it, most welcome. That is why World Economic Forum says, yeah, go for blockchain, go for AI, because these are technologies which will take up our lifestyle to the next level. Now, there are some technologies which are not probably are going to helpful for meeting those day-to-day agendas for citizens, right?
Sure.
So that is why government says, I think we need to regulate some of them. What do we regulate? For a better adoption, for a better way to do the same thing, right? So that is why it's very required. But I do agree with Samrat that NFT is a different ball game. What we have seen internet adoption and in new business models coming on internet, similar thing. is a new way to safeguard, protect, and have utilize blockchain technology. Yeah, that's how it
Excellent,
is, yeah.
excellent. So we spoke really well about this. One last question to all the guests is, first we'll begin in the same order which we started this panel discussion in. Srini sir, what's your NFT moment?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, and thank you very much. Yeah, I have a few NFT moments. I think I think most memorable NFT moment is the photograph which I've taken along with Prasanna in his office in front of the bank.
Excellent, excellent,
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah,
So
that
nice of
apart,
you.
I think I also have a wonderful NFT moment when I went to the Your Story media office
All right.
and met Ms. Shraddha Sharma because I wrote an article for blockchain for Your Story, which was widely circulated. It was 4 years back, and it also talked about a lot of suggestions to government of India for boosting startup ecosystem. And when I went to their office after the book was published, Madam took me to a first floor where their entire staff was sitting, and she told me, here is the guy who wrote this article, and I want Srini to address everybody about blockchain.
Sure.
And then I spoke about 10, 15 minutes. And at that point of time, she discovered that my book was also my blockchain, The Untold Story was also the first book in the world to be translated using AI from,
Excellent.
English to Mandarin.
Excellent.
And then she said, she's sitting in front bench and she said, I am going to, tag Prime Minister Modi and talk about this, what the particular thing that a book is translated, an Indian book is translated, Indian authored book is translated using AI and the first time in the world. And then she took a photograph of along with me, and she called all her staff to stand, behind us, and we took a photograph of that. And I really cherish that moment and that photograph forever. I think because everybody knows
lovely.
what is
Fantastic
Shraddha
moment.
Sharma. She's the queen of startup world, and she's the highest
Yeah.
followed person on LinkedIn in India.
Very nice.
So and she's a Wonder Woman, and it's a great moment for me, and I really cherish that moment. That's my
So
NFT
congratulations.
moment, along with the one what I have taken along with Mr. Prasanna.
Congratulations to both of you for this moment. We hope that it gives some kind of traction in your bank account as well. So, and Varun, your last NFT moment.
My NFT does not have any value.
My
It is
would be,
valueless. I will not sell it.
All right. Okay. So over to you.
I
Varun.
think my moment would be, when India Blockchain Forum, released the list of India's top blockchain influencer, and my name was there.
Wow.
So one of my friends in South Africa, he actually, messaged, the hash code, which I didn't realize what did he mean. He said, that's your NFT, which is edge forever now. He took the screenshot of Prasanna's LinkedIn post. He put that in NFT. So that was a moment for me that, I got really, because it gave me a sense of ownership, right? Now this will be there forever, right? Like Prasanna's post where he told about India's top blockchain influencer. So it's going to be there forever. Even I'm not there, I can just give the ownership to the next generation, and Prasanna's post will be there forever. Yeah. So again, second use case, like Srini sir, I think for me also, I think that's my NFT moment.
So Samrat, you have a similar moment with Prashant or Prasanna, or you have, or you are also. So you are also looking
No,
to.
I do.
All right.
I do. So Prasanna is one of the gurus. I consider him one of my gurus to bring me in the blockchain world. And he's been a guiding light for I think a lot of us.
All right.
So kudos to the work being done by Prasanna in
So,
the
but NFT
India
moment क्या
Blockchain
है
Forum,
आपका?
and of course NFT moment. Let me talk about my NFT portfolio. Let me talk about the moment I missed to convert into NFT. So there was a time I went to Harvard Business School for a conference, and there were T-shirts which were printed for that conference, and and this happens in Harvard. They misspelled Harvard.
All right. Such as hodl.
Yeah, such a moment, So they misspelled Harvard. I bought 5 of those T-shirts because that was all I could afford from the pocket change I had in my pocket at that time from that stall. And I said, you know what, I'm going to sell it, and that's what I did. I sold it at 2 times of what I could buy it for, just to the same people who had come to attend the same conference, because they said I'm going to take it back as a blooper made by Harvard. So
Excellent.
it was a blooper moment, and imagine if that were to get converted into NFTs, that would also be immortalized.
So perfect. So Srini had a wonderful image moment. Varun had a blockchain moment. So Samrat spoke about a blooper moment. So what is your moment?
I think there are quite a lot of moments we can treat them as a NFT moments. Certainly, interaction. While I was following Srini since so many years, and when we met together at Mumbai, it was a very good moment. Similarly, interacting with a lot of those influencers in India. So I keep on trending on LinkedIn or any other social media, right? So there are a lot of such posts. I can say that these are those NFT moments which has come for the first time, and it's helped so many people to learn about technologies and so on. And I'm a photographer since last 18 20 years. I'm a
Superb.
photographer, and
Excellent.
I have traveled more than 10 countries. So I have those moments. I think. Just imagine one of those photographs was onto the desktop of almost all officers at a Bhutan bank, right? So I was wondering, like, is that really a game, right? So I think when I sit in 2021 and when I look at my photography, I'm sure some of those will be NFT moments for me too if I really put it on a NFT marketplace. But I am not here to make money around those things. It's looking at the economies. I think certainly we'll see what all those better use cases will be NFT moments for me. Yeah.
Fantastic. So that's up. That's it. We come to an end to this panel discussion. So I would like to mention only 4 key words. First is non-fungible tokens is here to stay. It requires better regulations. It will not go away, but it will only develop as time goes. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being a part of this panel. Srini sir, thank you so much for being a part of this panel and giving your time to
I just want to, congratulate you for launching this Pro TV, and I think we had a great discussion, and thank you very much for getting together such a good panel wherein we could discuss number of issues threadbare, I think, and all these things could be a good guide for a lot of people in the business and maybe to the governments as well. Yeah, and thank you very much, and thank you, Prasanna, also for
Sure.
through the India Blockchain Forum, creating this.
Thank you so much, Varun Segi, for being part of the show. You spoke really well and you gave very good keywords. Long-term sustainability and better regulations are here for this NFT segment. What's your closing statement?
Well, again, I want to, heartily congratulate, Crypto TV for what they're doing. And I feel this is the right moment, the right time, and with the right approach, right? I think the intent matters. Today, if you look at, internet, a lot of, organization trying to, get into this education space. But I think the intent is what matters, approach what matters. So I really want to wish the best to this initiative, and happy to be part of it. And thanks to Prasanna as well, to be the top bearer of innovation itself, right? And in a whole nutshell, I think he is the one who has been at the forefront of technology innovation in India, right? I mean, at some point of time, I wonder does he even sleep, right? His LinkedIn is trending 24/7, right? With latest content, right? Like all this latest stuff, where people can actually extract value out of it. It is not just post. I think people just derive value out of it. So that's my closing thought. My again best wishes to this entire initiative, and happy to be part of this.
Thank you so much, Varun. And Samrat, thank you so much. You also gave a Virat performance today, and you gave a lot of examples. I think so that will add a lot of value to our viewers. This is the discussion about non-fungible tokens and basics of NFTs. What's your closing statement?
Thank you, Manoj, for having me. And as the other speakers have also pointed out, Prasanna is doing a fantastic job putting together all of us in the India Blockchain Forum. And also this Crypto TV, initiative like this is really, really important in today, especially in today's time. We're going through information overload. Infodemic is a new pandemic, and I think there can't be a topic abused, misused, reused again and again than crypto and blockchain. So I think it's very, very important. So congratulations on launching this. I would like to support this in future as well. In fact, there is one moment which I want to share, via your platform, which is I'm going to be selling NFTs or 4 NFTs of one day in 2025 of my time. So that's going to happen very, very soon. And I'm going to be, this is the first time I'm saying this in public, and I'm not sure when you're going live with this show, but people are going to be able to buy my time. So that one day I will give 4 2.5 hours meeting slots to people. They can talk about anything that they want. They can have a lunch, or they can take business advice from myself. So that's the crypto experiment which I'm going to do very soon. I think Prasanna also pointed this out at the beginning of the show that there are going to be talent NFTs very, very soon. My closing statement is, it is here to stay for sure. I am super bullish on the NFT markets and marketplaces. It is a new financial model evolving right in front of our eyes, and I'm glad that people are participating in it.
श्योर सो प्रसन्ना, जैसे सम्राट ने बताया कि वन डे फॉर 2025, सो आई मीन इसे तो डेट कहते हैं. What
Yeah,
is
I
your
think
closing
that-
lines?
This is what I said during the conversation. Like everybody has an opportunity to go and post on LinkedIn, right? Similarly, when it comes to NFT, everybody has an opportunity to really sell his talent or human talent. Actually, there are a lot of new business models will come up. Time is very interesting here onwards, and great to be part of this journey. So once again, at Crypto TV being here, gives us pleasure to bring the education in a right direction. So on
All
behalf
right.
of India Blockchain Forum, thank you so much for being here. Yeah.
So once again, thank you so much, Prasanna. Thank you so much, Srini sir, Varun, Samrat. It was indeed a wonderful panel discussion about non-fungible tokens. Hope to see you soon. Thank you so much, everyone.